Hi there, Virgo. I love this deck. So I wonder if there's some residual energy, insomnia, obsessive worrying thoughts. For me, it can be a card where you're stuck in the moment and you're just not seeing the big picture. So, and it's very real. The anxiety you're feeling isn't made up. There is stress. There are things going on, but it won't always be that. I have to put this down because my hand hurts. It won't always be this way. It's temporary. And if we can sort of breathe through the next few days, and understand that this too shall pass and try to keep that in mind. It's not going to make everything go away, but if we can just take some comfort in the knowledge that this is temporary, and we've been through many situations, like this in the past where we've been worried and nervous about something, and it's not something that's sustainable. So don't try really hard not to feed those fears, and to focus on the anxiety and the worry, and focus on more positive things, and try to train your brain to stop that cycle, that circle of negative thinking. Easier said than done, I know. So let's look at the past. Okay, the world. So something is completing, something is coming to an end. Things are being tied up. This time of year, can be things like graduation, weddings, anniversaries, anything where it's like a milestone, one beginning and something new, closing one chapter and beginning a new chapter. So it's not necessarily in any way a negative card. It's a positive card, but it does come sometimes with some fear and some worry and discomfort, because if okay, great, I graduated from high school, I graduated from college, I finished this big project, and then it's kind of like, okay, what next? Then you're at a big new beginning, a big new turning point in your life. And that can be very anxiety producing for some people, but it's also a very exciting and exhilarating new time in your life. And sometimes getting going, wrapping something up while starting something new at the same time, there can be a extra lot going on than normal. And again, that can bring these sort of sleepless nights and worry that come up with the Nine of Swords. So the focus is the Five of Swords. Let's see what's crossing it. And the Hermit. So there is some conflict right now. Maybe for some of you, whatever this you're wrapping up and starting new, there's resistance from other people, because it's not only us that change affects. It can affect everyone around us that we're dealing with, and they, I can relate this to a work situation. People, even if it's not directly related to them, can get very uncomfortable with change, and very uncomfortable if they're not in control, or they deem they're not in control, or they disagree, and it can make them get pretty involved in things that aren't necessarily their business even. And the thing about this in this card is, there is a line drawn in the sand, but each person is on the same side, and the point is to try to understand the end goal is the same, and that we may need to compromise, or just be willing to wait for a little bit, have patience, and see how things play out. But this can definitely be the cause of that Nine of Swords over here. The fives always are uncomfortable, because we need the fives to, they're abrasive. They rub us the wrong way, and it's that rubbing the wrong way and that discomfort that unfortunately brings sort of this Nine of Swords energy, but it forces us to make change and not just stick and stay stagnant. What's the word I want to say? It's, of course, I'm drawing a blank on the word, but it um, propels us forward. It forces us, but there's a better word for it than force, to change, to move forward, to keep progressing. And the Hermit's just saying that's the lesson here. If you are struggling, if there is a stressful situation, there is some conflict going on, you're trying to maybe get some new things going and there's a lot of resistance around it, the Hermit's saying that's the whole point. That's the lesson you're learning. How do you maintain your centeredness and your balance in the midst of conflict? And so that's something to really reflect on this week. Let's see what we want most of all right now. We want everyone to be one big happy family. we want everyone to be getting along and come together and be supportive, and for it to be a good, happy environment. So we want this conflict to go away. So let's keep moving on. So in the near future, we have the Eight of Wands. So that's interesting. Something quick. So we have this culmination, this world energy that's just passing. So something's ending and something's beginning, and not everyone's happy with this, and it's making some uncomfortable feelings, some conflict. You're up at night worrying about it, and you're like, okay, I'm going to try to be zen and just breathe through it and everything. And then something really fast is going to happen. So this could be a bunch of things. This could be maybe you decide to leave the situation. Maybe you leave the relationship, you leave the job, there's a new opportunity coming, there's messages coming. Something happens very quickly that's going to it's almost like the pressure, the Five of Swords, like the pressure with this 5 and 9 of Swords is just building and building and building and building. And it's at the point where it's like it has to give. It's going to explode. And it does. And things change very rapidly. So just be prepared for that. And it doesn't mean this is not a bad card. So this is not a bad thing. It can feel when you're already dealing with this change and your anxiety levels up and things are tense. It can be a little bit like, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? But it's going to be the thing needed to move from that 5 of Swords conflict energy to a better energy, like the 10 of Cups. Okay, so let's see some overall cards over here, some outcome cards. The 9 of Pentacles, I love this card. So when she comes up in this deck, it's like, just be quiet, let things play out, and don't add fuel to the fire is what I'm getting. Things are going to change. Things are going to change. I could not have planned that. So this is the card of transformation. Things are going to be changing. Definitely. I think there are things going on probably behind the scenes that you're not aware of. So I think there are forces at work to help bring a resolution to this conflict. And this is the change is happening. Like, if whoever's been resisting or causing drama in your life, somehow, in some way, that pressure is going to be relieved. Somehow it's going to come to a head, and it's going to come to a head, and there's going to be a positive resolution. Something's going to come in from out of the blue. It's almost like your prayers are going to be answered and help take care of the situation for you, either by removing you from it or removing someone else or some part of the situation that's been causing all the issues. It's going to be eliminated. And I don't mean like, killed, but it's going to be taken out of the equation, so that the change can continue, can happen. Because this death card, this means this is change, transformation. You know, this caterpillar, once it turns into the butterfly, will never be the caterpillar again. I mean, it's still the same, being the same creature, but it's never going to go backwards. It's going to move forward. So things are going to move forward again. It's like this Five of Swords. This is a little bit, these all together, it's like, oh, there's all this, oops, sorry. There's all this conflict, and it's really, really stressing me out. And I'm trying to deal with it internally the best way that I can, and get some perspective, and just lay low, wait it out, keep to myself, keep your own counsel, and things will are going to very quickly work themselves out. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.